Hello guys, Gaming Dad 56 here, ready for episode 7 of the $10 million challenge. I came up here looking down, kind of a nice cool view of our farm. I thought it's been 6 episodes, we've just been kind of cruising along, we've got a lot done, we got our fields worked, we did some contracting jobs. I thought it might be a good time to kind of do a update on where we're at on the farm. So, here's where our fields look like so far. None of our fields have been plowed because at this point, I don't even think we own a plow. So that's going to have to be fixed eventually. But I wanted to get all the crops in the ground first so that we could just get going. This field is in its second stage of fertilization. These two fields are both in their first stage of fertilization, but I can't do anything with them because they got fertilized as we planted the seed. And I need them to reach the next growth stage before I can do anything. So I'm still waiting on those to grow before I can do anything else with them. As far as growth goes, all these fields, all 3 of our fields, still in their first growth stage. Right? We've got soybeans planted in fields 12 and 15, and we've got, is that barley? Yep, barley planted in field 14. Just waiting for all that to grow. We'll refertilize it a couple times and we'll be good. But if we tab through our vehicles here, you'll see we've got those 2 Case tractors and we've got this New Holland. Now, downside to these tractors, none of those have care wheels available to them, which means as this reaches its first growth stage and we start to go to fertilize, we're going to be destroying the crops because I do have crop destruction in. So we need to get some care wheels. None of these tractors have care wheels available for them. So we need a new tractor, basically, is what it comes down to. Let's take a look. Let's go not to this screen. Let's go to the normal loan screen. Nope, never mind, can't do it. Okay, forget that. We'll go back to here. So I do have 0 loan, which is good. Although I have 0 bank line, which is really odd. That's interesting. Okay, regardless, doesn't really matter. We have 0 loan, which is nice. As far as equipment goes, take a quick look so you guys know where we're at. We've got the New Holland in 2 cases. You've already seen that. We've got the front loader for the New Holland with pallet forks so we can move around seed and fertilizer bags, or pallets, I mean. We've got the case, axial flow, and its header that you start with, the small DB8 trailer, okay, a cultivator, a seeder, and this fertilizer spreader that we purchased early on. We've got the rodeo pickup and then some buildings. So that's what we own right now. We're still waiting on these fields, and since our goal is to make $10 million, what have we been doing lately? If you take a look at some of these fields, we've been doing a lot of contracting jobs. We did some work on field 24 here. And we recently did some work on field 18. And I believe we went up and did some work on one of these fields up here, although I honestly don't remember which one it was now. We've made some decent money. We paid off our entire loan. We sold some equipment and stuff like that. And we've got $66,000. So, since we're still waiting, what are we going to do? Well, we're going to have to take some contracting jobs. Last episode, I harvested potatoes? I think it was potatoes. On field 18 here. Let's see, does it still tell me what was in that field? Yeah, potatoes. So we harvested those. And then I think we refertilized the field. Let's take a look at that. Yep, we refertilized it. Which means if we go back to field 18, we should be in good shape to do some other job, which won't take us too long. Again, we're just trying to make some money. And it's beneficial for us to do jobs on fields repeatedly because we build up our reputation with this owner. So this field's only $55,000. Right now, what do we need to do? We need to plow. Ugh, plowing is such a boring job. That's okay, we're going to do it because it needs to be done. So you guys know, like, I almost never use the front weight when it provides it for us in these jobs because rarely do you ever actually need it. So we'll get lined up here. back us up. All right. So we're still quite a long ways from our $10 million goal, but we've been making some good progress. We found a few gold nuggets. If we can find all the gold nuggets, that'll really help us on our way. You know, that $1 million, that'll make a big difference for us. So that's something we may have to kind of really consider doing. I know what the plan is, to really just find gold nuggets as we come across them in our normal, man, I'm plowing a lot of the field right there, aren't I? In our normal day-to-day kind of goings about. And that's how we found our first 4, really. So I don't really want to dedicate time just to finding gold nuggets at this point. Once we find the 10, then I'll go find the rest of them to get the icons off the map, and we'll have our $1 million, and that'll really help us. I'm hoping that happens sooner rather than later, because we really do need some. We need something, right? We need some money. We need an influx of money to this farm so we can really get going. And the contracting jobs are our way of accomplishing that right now, at least. So we're going to keep doing them. Doing contracting jobs does get kind of old after a while. At least they're different jobs. But I understand it does tend to get a little repetitive. But our goal is to make $10 million. And, you know, contracting is really one of the best ways to make money in the early game, especially. You don't own a lot of fields. You don't own a lot of equipment. So you do what you can. And for the most part, that's contracting. So we're going to keep at it. My most immediate goal, I think, there's a couple things we need. We need a plow, and I really would like to get another tractor that has care wheels as an option. And I would like to get a workshop that we can put on the farm. To do all that, it's going to take quite a bit of money. The workshop is, if I remember correctly, about $20,000, something like that. A new tractor is going to cost us well over $100,000. And, oh, that was bad. The plow won't be that expensive. A lot of these plows are pretty cheap, like $15,000 should get us a plow. So that's pretty easy to do. But we need, all told, probably about $200,000 before we will be able to make those purchases. I think probably the most important of those purchases is the tractor and the care wheels, so that when we go back to fertilize our crops, we don't destroy them. So that might have to be kind of the first one, but we still need, just for that alone, we're going to need, you know, probably $150-ish thousand before we can really make that purchase. And as usual, I am missing a lot of stuff, making my job longer and harder because I'm missing so much. So I hope you guys are enjoying this series. I am. The task of reaching $10 million is a little daunting, especially as I keep looking up at our balance after every episode, and we are nowhere near $10 million. That's okay though. It's not going to be a quick and easy task. It's going to take us some time to accomplish, and I'm good with that. But I hope you are enjoying watching it. This is the Fent 300. This is a nice little tractor. Wonder how much this one costs. When we get this job done, we'll take a look at what equipment we're going to want to purchase and what the prices are, so that we know how much money we need to make. I really want to get a care wheel capable tractor before having to go fertilize those fields. So I think that's the next purchase, because that's going to make a big difference. And I want to finish this field as quickly as possible. So since this field is going to take quite a bit of time, and I don't really want to take up the whole episode with yet another contracting job, let's time-lapse this field. So I will come back to you guys when we are done with this field, and we'll take a look at what equipment we might want to buy. So enjoy the time-lapse. And there you go. We are done. So nice $16,500 from that one. Brings us up to $83,000. What's the next job on this field? Cultivating. Makes sense. We might have to do that one too. But for now, let's check out the store. So remember, we need a tractor that has care wheels as an option. So currently we have this 8340. It's got 125 horsepower. And we have the Case, which has 145 horsepower. I don't really want to go down in horsepower because that just doesn't make any sense. We might as well be trying to get more horsepower tractors so we can get larger tractors. So if we just take a look at some of these narrow tires, so that's got the care wheels, so we could buy the Zetter if we wanted to, the Forterra. What about this Hurleyman here? Wheels, wides, narrows. It's got narrows too, so we could get that. That's got 110, 127, 110. So both of those still, the Zetter is about the same as this. I wouldn't really want to go down all the way down into here, because when you look at implements, there's just not much you can do with a 125 horsepower tractor. So really I want something more powerful. And when you look at spending $99,000, it's not that much more to spend like 111. But this is only a 110 horsepower tractor. What options do we have? For 125,000, we can get 140 horsepower essentially. So that's still not even as powerful as the Case. And it does have the narrow tires. So that's an option. But I really want something more powerful. The T6 is already, in its base model, just as powerful. It has narrow tires. You can upgrade the engine and get 163 horsepower, and that's only going to cost us less than 130,000. And if we get the front loader attacher, we still have that front loader attachment. So we could actually probably get rid of the other New Holland tractor, and we've got a more powerful tractor option. The last option, I think, because then we're going to start to get too expensive, is the Valtra. The Valtra does have a front loader attacher. You can get up to 185 horsepower, and you can get narrow tires. And all of that only costs $140,000. For the 180 horsepower, I think it's worth it, because if you look at the cultivator we have right now, 120 horsepower, to go up to the next one, you only get 4 meters and it requires 160. And then to go up to this one, which is 6 meters wide, it's asking for 180 horsepower. So I think that the Valtra might be our best option. And to do that, all decked out like we want it, I want to get the front loader, because then we can also use this as a front loading tractor when we get rid of the other New Holland. And the narrow tires, we need $141,000. Right now we're at 83, so we need to make up about $60,000. How are we going to do that? Let's take a look at finances real quick. We can run through a quick overview, but I just want to show you guys, how quickly you can make money in this game with the contracting system if you want to do it that way. We've already made $130,000 today on just contracting jobs, and it's only 11 o'clock in the morning. So we could really make a lot of money with this. If we go back to the map, take a field like Field 5, for instance. Let's go look at it. Now, I'm not going to do this job right now, but you could earn, with the bonus, you'll earn about probably $15,000 to $16,000 on this job from this one field, and it's a fertilizing job, which is pretty easy, right? When you harvest this field, let's see if we can find a big field that's ready to harvest. Yeah, Field 20 here. This is a nice big field ready to harvest. To harvest this field, it's going to take you probably a little, close to an hour and a half to do it. But you'll probably make close to $50,000 off this job alone by the time it's done. Now, I'm not going to do that with you guys, because that's going to take us way over our time for this episode. But just keep in mind, if you want to make money, that's a good way to do it. So let's find, we've worked Field 24. Who's our owner for Field 24? James Harris. Currently no mission available on this field, because we've already done all of the jobs for it. But James Harris is the owner, so if we hop across the street, we find James Harris is the owner here as well. And we can do more missions on this field for him and get our reputation up with him. This will be a nice quick job. We'll probably have this done in about 6 or 7 minutes. So let's take this one. We'll probably earn about $6,000 to $7,000 off of this job. Fertilization jobs. I don't want to keep doing all fertilization jobs, but they're the ones that don't take forever, so I end up doing them a lot. You can make decent, you don't make tons of money off the fertilization jobs, but you can make decent money, and they don't take all that long, which is really nice. There we go. Just cruising along, spreading some slurry. So, we've got a couple fields. I'm trying to debate what field we'll want to go after eventually. 19, of course, is a field that's, if I pull up the map here, you guys can see 19 is right up there by our farm. We're currently working Field 23. 24 is a nice field. 23 and 24 are nice fields to have because they're not that far from the farm. They have a decent size to them. Whereas like Field 19, whoa, can't drive. Field 19 is a good field, but it's just small. So you don't get much out of it, even if you're doing the harvesting and things, you just don't get a lot out of that field. Which makes it hard for me to really want to buy it. But then again, it's almost useless as a contracting field because it's so small you don't make any money off it. So I don't really know. It's right next to the farm, which makes me want to buy it because it's literally right across the street from our farm. But I just can't decide. We'll keep doing these jobs for James Harris so we get our reputation to the max with him so that we get the best discount on his fields. And I think we'll keep working that field 18 too, just so we, if we want to, we can buy that one. That's the one we harvested potatoes on, and it's pretty close to our farm as well. So I think that would be a good one to have. I like to do, a lot of times with these wider implements, I like to do a kind of an outline of the field first. When you're doing these contracting jobs, an outline of the field really does help. If you can drive around the field in circles, it allows you to get the job done efficiently because you spend no time, all of your time is spent in the field. Whereas, for instance, the way that I was plowing that other field, I had to turn, I was going through the headlands to turn, and that's time spent outside of the field, which is less efficient. But with a little tiny plow like I had to turn around, plows don't work doing circles very well. Something like this works much better when you're doing circles, so that's why I'll do circles with stuff like this. Even some of the bigger harvesters, I'll do circles around the field. And again, it's all about efficiency. You're trying to take advantage of that time bonus to make that extra money. In a day, how many contracting jobs can you do in a day? Who knows? 20, 30, 40 contracting jobs. So if you can get an extra $1,000, $1,500 in those time bonuses, it can make a huge difference. And even a couple $100 because you do a job a little quicker and more efficiently, it's going to make a big difference if you're doing contracting jobs all day long. Now, I honestly don't know if you guys do a lot of contracting jobs in your own gameplay. I can tell you after playing my own, personal save games, contracting jobs get old after a while. And I wouldn't normally spend this much time doing contracting jobs if I wasn't just trying to make as much money as possible for our challenge here. But our only other option, because there's really nothing else we can do at this point, is to just sit and fast forward time until our fields are ready to harvest. And realistically speaking, with the size of our fields and the fact that we only have 3 of them, we're not going to make that much money off of harvests. Our yields, they'll be good, but we're not going to make a ton off of that. We need more fields. We need more equipment. We need a lot of stuff. And the quickest way to make money in the early game is to do contracting jobs. So that's what we're doing. It also is nice though, because you get to work with different equipment. So I can't complain too much. I don't think we've searched up in this area for any gold nuggets or anything. There's a shed over there. I feel like maybe once we finish this job up, maybe we should go look over there for a gold nugget. Having played quite a bit of these maps, I've noticed that they don't tend to put gold nuggets right out where you would come across them if you don't actually look for them a little bit. But a lot of the gold nuggets are in places that are fairly obvious. Like you see something like that shed over there, and you're like, oh, that looks like a place where a gold nugget would be. And a lot of times you'll be right. So I think we might have to go take a look over there for a gold nugget. And just about done with this field. Tell you what we need to do. We need to do a nice big job and just get our money. Really, because I don't want to leave myself with no money, we need to have more than $141,000. We need to have probably $150,000 or so before I'll feel comfortable buying that and making sure we have a little money left over. So there you go. $7,000. About 6 minutes worth of work. So that worked out pretty well. And let's run over here. Just want to check these hills around or the shed. See if there's any gold nuggets up in this area. see any. See any right around the house. What about in here? Nope. Nothing. Man, I really thought there'd be one there. Let's walk up into these hills really quick and see if we can find any gold nuggets. I do not see any. Well, that looks like a no on the gold nuggets in this area. Alright. Let's go, let's hop back to field 23. What's nothing available here? Notice how high our reputation's getting in with him, though. It's doing pretty well. I think if we buy a field, this may be the one. And we're down to $73,000 for this field, so that's nice. What else? Field 18 is currently fertilized, and we plowed it. I think we said the next mission was to cultivate. So maybe next time we'll take that job. Or maybe we'll go around and we'll look for a different job. Maybe we'll look on one of these big fields and find a job that'll really pay us well. We'll see. Field 4 was the one we must have worked up there. What's available on 19? Fertilization. Like 5 minutes. And $1,000. We'll pass on that. So, I think we'll call it an episode here. I don't think we're going to be able to get much done before our time runs out. So, we'll go ahead and call it. Until I see you guys next time, thank you for watching. Gaming Dad 56 here. And I'll see you in the next episode.